Hello everyone and welcome back to Jimmy Talks Jira. We are coming out of Team 22 week and man, what an event that was. I want to spend some time this week just recapping some of the major announcements that were made during the day one keynote. So let's not waste any further time and let's dive in. Okay, so first up, if you haven't seen the opening keynote, it is available on YouTube. I will have a link to the video in the description. I highly recommend going and watching it. You're going to get pumped after this. The first major announcement that was made was Atlassian Atlas. This was previously known as Team Central, so if you're familiar with Team Central, this is the same thing. It's just been rebranded as they are preparing to leave beta and going into an official GA launch. So it is still in beta at the moment, but it will be going GA very, very shortly. And the biggest news, in my opinion, is that they will be launching it as a free product, which is super cool. I know that my company personally has been using Team Central through the beta period, so having Atlas launch free means that we don't have to justify an additional expense in order to continue taking advantage of it. If you're not familiar with what Atlas is giving you the ability to report on project statuses in a Twitter-like fashion, giving a high-level summary and project health status to the people that need to be kept in the loop at a high level, while also protecting your development teams from conversations that really need to be had with your product owners and your project managers and your team leads. I think that this product has been fantastic. It has done a great job of reducing the number of meetings that my team has with our team lead, where each individual is responsible for updating the status of their projects, and then that rolls up to our executive level through there, without us having to spend a lot of time in meetings verbalizing the project status unless there is some issues that need to be taken care of. The other thing I'd like to point out is the fact that they have changed the logo, and personally I'm a fan of it. You have what looks like a world or a globe, but you can still see that there's sort of an outline of an A in there. I think it actually comes together quite cohesively. Moving on was some announcements about Compass. So if you aren't familiar with Compass, it is currently in the alpha phase as a part of the Point A framework. And Compass is designed to help you articulate your architecture for your software in a way that allows you to define who owns certain components of your microsystem architecture, what components make up the various pieces of it, the dependencies, and an overall health on your software platform. So if Atlas is to project status updates, Compass is to your software architecture. I personally haven't been using it yet. It is going to be moving from alpha into beta very soon, which is good news to hear that they're making progress with it. And some of the things that I just wanted to highlight, if you're not familiar with it, you have things like being able to define what team owns a particular component or service, as well as where you can contact them. If you are using OpsGenie, you can link into the who's currently on call if there's an issue with it. Going over to the metadata, it allows you to define where you can find the source code for it, any documentation, as well as sort of what projects are linked to that software component. And then your scorecards allow you to identify things that relate to sort of its production readiness and its service health. I think that this is definitely something where I see the potential in it, and I definitely want to start looking at it in the future. Just hasn't been something I've had time to dive into just yet. The last big piece was analytics and data lake. So if you are not familiar with data lake, that term has been around on the online community in an early access type of manner. And the idea behind it was ingesting your raw Atlassian cloud data into a data warehouse so that you could connect a third-party BI application to do some reporting on. This one came out of left field, in my opinion, that I did not see this coming, but what Atlassian has now done is they are currently working on an early access for their own analytics front end. So as much as you had the data lake doing some ingestion of your raw data previously, and then you needed your own sort of a bring your own BI application to manipulate and report on that data, Atlassian now has Atlassian Analytics in the works, where you will be able to use an Atlassian UI to do some of that report generation. I can't say how cool that is enough. Being a bit of a data nerd myself, I am absolutely going to want to dive into some of this stuff and just see what sort of information I can pull out of Data Lake and what sort of information we can find through it. I know my company will be super excited to see some of this stuff as well, just because data-driven decisions are something that's important to them. So those were the big three that were announced. There were obviously a number of other smaller features that were announced for some of the existing products. For example, automation will be coming to Confluence soon, which is super exciting. So as much as I'm not 100% familiar with sort of what trigger actions you're going to have and what they're going to be capable of doing, I know that Jira automation has a lot of power with what you're able to do in affecting issues. So I imagine the same is also true in Confluence with the power of what you're able to do to affect pages. Other than that, it was a great week. There were a lot of really good conversations I was able to have with a number of Atlassians and partners and other fellow community leaders at the various booths that were going on. If you weren't able to be there in person, I'm sorry that you missed out on it, but hopefully you'll be able to be there next year. I would absolutely recommend going in person if you can. And that's all we have for this episode. I hope you found this recap useful, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider giving the video a like. That helps tell me that you want me to do more videos like this in the future. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel so that you can get more great content every single week. I'd also like to thank everyone who has supported the channel up to this point. We hit 100 subscribers not too long ago, and we're over that milestone at this point, so we actually have a proper channel name at this point, and I couldn't have done that without you guys. Thank you so much. As a celebration for that, be sure to tune in the future, possibly next week. I will be doing a behind-the-scenes video to show you how I put these videos together, some of the equipment I'm using, some of the software I'm using, and kind of what goes into me making one of these videos. As always, thanks for stopping by.